Hey, my happy shiny puppies. This is Melody Fletcher, your go-to for everything law of attraction and reality creation. And today I've got a treat for you. What follows is an excerpt from one of our live Q&A calls where people just like you, students just like you, were able to ask me questions and I answered them. And today you're going to get one of those. And as you see in the coming weeks, we're going to be rolling out more and more of these. And if you'd like the chance to be a part of one of these Q&A calls for free, then stay to the end of the video and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. All right, I'll see you on the other side. Bye.
So the big question is this: how do we, those of us who feel deep down that we're much more powerful than we've been led to believe, and that there is something to this law of attraction stuff, actually create our own realities? What's the process of simply stepping into the reality of our choice? What about those of us who need this process to make logical, intellectual sense? My name is Melody Fletcher. You've got questions about the technology of reality, and I've got the answers. Welcome to my channel where the law of attraction finally makes some freaking sense.
I just have a question. I just recently came across this kind of meditation that is like, it uses this technique of obviously feel your body, don't just observe your thoughts and don't judge them, don't give any sort of don't add any dialogue to it, and at the same time, look for your, just send energy into your body so you actually get out of your mind. And then when you get to this kind of a space where you just don't have anything, and you just feel like kind of a void, and you don't feel like triggered by anything, you can send out an intention. And apparently I've been reading testimonials that it really works. So I was just wondering, I know that in this course we kind of engage a lot with negative emotion, and I've been doing it. I'm just wondering, would that work for, is that something we can try and use? Do you think it will is a kind of a backfire somehow? I mean, if I don't address my things and engage with the negative part, which I've been doing anyway. But, these days it feels like it's very intense, but it also feels like I'm so sick of my story, and I just feel like I'm starting to get the meaning of the fact that it's just a story and it's bullshit. And, I'm getting to that point where it feels unfair on the side, dealing with all this stuff and everything that is coming up for me. I mean, it feels unfair, but it also feels like bullshit. I mean, it's really like kind of unreal at the same time. So I'm really getting the meaning of the word that it is a story. It's just a story. So I just felt kind of inspired of trying this kind of meditation. But I was just wondering, I mean, is that kind of bad that I don't look for the negative? I mean, that I don't.
No, here's how I'd use this technique. Yeah. Because it's not all or nothing. These are all different tools to put into your tool belt. Yeah. And so I think that's a wonderful way of meditating, because in the first half, what you're doing is you're detaching yourself from your mind, and you're understanding that you are not your mind.
Yeah.
So that's where you don't engage with the thoughts. You just let them pass, and you are making a different decision. You don't have to engage just because the thoughts came along.
Yeah.
And then when you get into a neutral place where you're just not buying into that anymore, you can then set intentions, and you can get a lot of really positive energy going, which will, and over the course of the next days and weeks, will bring up all your shit, which you do need to deal with.
Okay.
So it's not about constantly feeling negative. Oh my God, please no. And you can do this to help get more energy going, and also to train you to not buy into what your mind is doing, that you don't have to, your mind is not in charge of you. And that's really great training. But as you kick off this process, things are going to come up. They might come up more specifically. They might come up even more helpfully as you train yourself to become more discerning. I would use this tool all the time. Absolutely. It's a great way of meditating if you're drawn to it. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't have to do it at the same time. So in meditation, when you don't engage with those thoughts, but then if you notice some patterns coming up, if you notice something that's stuck, then you can go ahead and deal with that outside of meditation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah?
Obviously, if something is like kind of preventing me from really relaxing and it just wants to come out, then I would notice it. Absolutely.
Or in that moment, you just let it go, but it's not going away. It comes again and again and again. So you're not really letting it go, but you're just deciding not to engage with that in that moment, which you can do in meditation. I'm just not going to engage with you right now, but I'll catch you later, because you're not going away. You keep getting my attention. I'm going to deal with you, but I'm not going to deal with you in meditation, because that's not what I'm doing here right now.
Yeah. I think the first thing I would more drawn to do the first thing, like, just naturally feels to me like if something keeps coming up. I mean, sometimes I've just been aborting my meditations because I couldn't just relax. I mean, I had this thing coming up, and I just didn't engage.
And if you can't get into a good meditation because it's coming up, then clear it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, using the techniques you learned in LOA Academy, clear it, and then you can go back into the meditation. Yeah. So you kind of find your way through this, but if you're drawn to this technique, definitely do it. But there's no right or wrong way. There's only what works. And this is how I would work with it.
Okay. And I mean,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And one thing I want to ask about this technique, if I get to that state, if I really manage to have a beautiful, good meditation and, get to the state where I actually feel gratitude and I can actually just visualize and I'm not engaging with anything negative, because just generally, I managed to create this vision and I get excited about it and everything, and and I tend to do it before I go to bed. So it's kind of really beneficial to me because I really can relax and, I know that nobody's coming to distract me in anything. Do you think I can actually even kind of, reprogram my negative beliefs somehow if I keep engaging with this positive vision and getting very good energy from it and very beautiful feelings and not fake feelings, really, really authentic, genuine ones? Do you think I can actually...
Yes, and you can also potentially, depending on how allowing you are, just burn through some of those negative beliefs just by focusing well enough on the positive ones.
So, sorry, say that again.
But it depends on how allowing you are and how much of a need you have to understand what's going on specifically. The less need you have to know what it's about, what the belief is, how it's manifested in your life, how it's been affecting you, the less need you have to know that, to understand that in that moment, the easier it will be for you to let it go. But I've certainly experienced going into a high vibration and feeling just a moment or two of discomfort as stuff was leaving on the way out, that just burned through. So, and you can get to that point by allowing this. Now, as you're getting into that really delicious place, if there's something in there that is bothering you, I would look at it. I would either just look at it and go, do I want this? What do I want instead? That can often flip it right there. And if that doesn't work, then, I would take a look at what that is. Because, I mean, when I'm doing the work and I'm doing all the work. Or you can put a pin in it and do it later, if you don't want to mess up the deliciousness in that moment. But often these things can be quite quick if you're using the momentum you've got going on the positive side. You're not going to be able to get to the place where you can just let things go without going through the process of learning how to do that. Now, that is your process. It might take you, a little while. It might take you longer, but you can't be afraid of the negative emotion. You have to be willing to engage with the negative emotion, not constantly, but as it comes up, you have to be willing to engage with it. And by being willing to do that and then pulling yourself up using this meditation, you're going to find that it gets easier for you to do, it gets less for you to do, and it comes to the point where, it's basically a non-issue because your negative emotion is subtle for the most part and kind of just leaves on its own. You just allow it to leave.
No, I understand that. I mean, if I can be honest with you, I just think that I just get this feeling somehow that, first of all, to be honest, I'm at a stage where I'm not even interested anymore where they come from. And second of all, it's like, I think they're so practiced. They're so practiced that it takes another practice to cancel them out. Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. So, like I said, I would trust, first and foremost, that you're drawn to this technique. Mm-hmm. Just trust that and go do it. Just try it. Yeah. Okay. And I've given you some guidelines on how to work with it, but for the most part, do what works for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if you get stuck, go back to what I said here today. But I think it feels very good, feels very powerful. I think this is going to give you the next piece. And it's good that you don't really care what it's about anymore because you're kind of sick of it, and that's great. And so I think this is going to serve you well. Yeah, I think getting some real positive momentum going in your life is going to help you a lot.
Okay.
All right. It's going to pull you out of some of these patterns much more easily.
Yeah, I was just, because obviously, I definitely honor the fact that I need to be aware and I want to be aware. Otherwise everything is pointless. I wouldn't even be having this conversation if I don't want to be aware. So I don't want to numb and I don't want to be in denial. And I've never been in denial. Actually, I've been quite lazy with focusing and meditating up so far, but now I feel like I just need a different practice. Like I just need to practice.
Yeah, and you've already been drawn to one.
Yeah.
Go do it. Go do it. It's going to serve you.
Okay.
This is how it happens. This is how inspiration happens. It's just easy.
Okay.
It just plops right in. Hello, here's a technique. Really? Shouldn't I keep searching? No, it came to you.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
It's all going really well. Keep going.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
All right. Look at you. You made it all the way to the end of the video. Good for you. So if you'd like a chance to be part of these Q&A calls that we do for free, then all you have to do is get onto my email list. People on my email list get free gifts like this. In fact, I'll even give you another free gift for getting onto my email list, which changes periodically. So I'm not going to tell you what it is so that I can change it, but just check the description down below. Get onto my email list, get your valuable free gift, and you will be invited to take part of one of these Q&A calls yourself where you can ask me whatever you want. Sound like a good deal? I think so. So sign up now, get invited to Q&A call, and get your own answers. Until then, enjoy the videos every week. Thank you for bringing your light to the world.